You want to know when things really got freaky and it got weird? At the very end of what do you call it? When it's a story arc with Madam Yes and the little girl dog. I don't even know. It got weird when Madam Yes, I think she was just trying to pick at the man and try maybe to manipulate him. And I don't know why she started to sour on the man. There's a few reasons. I thought, well, first off, the stinky jeans business probably put a big damper on the relationship. But the horrible part, the saddest thing was the little girl dog was mesmerized when I first started talking. She looked at me like she was looking at a ghost. And she looked like perplexed. Her head almost tilted. It didn't quite tilt, but I thought it was going to tilt for a second. One of her ears flopped down a little lower than the other ear. And she was like, what is going on? When I started talking in front of her. The very first time I spoke in front of her, she was pixelated and complexed. And she didn't know what to make of it. But the thing that I'm trying to drive at here, the thing that I'm trying to explain is that she knew right away. She's a smart little girl. She's like, that collar's the reason why that dog can talk. And without that collar, and then she knew when I had the collar, because I have a very flashy collar. It's like a light blue with a big gold medallion. It's very beautiful. It's very flashy, and everybody notices it. It's almost like from the disco era. If you were to look at something and say, what is that? It's like the colonial. Is that the Victorian? And they would say, that's the Disconian. That's where they had the disco music a lot, and they called it Disconian era. That was my collar. It's a big giant emblem that I have. It's like the rappers, but it's more sedate. It almost looks like a little thing of, like a British soldier, would wear. Something like would commemorate some sort of victory of British soldiers over some people they were colonizing. But that little girl, she knew it. It drew attention. She was like, this thing, that's the thing. Because she saw me without it. She's like, this is an idiot dog. And then when she saw me with the collar, she's like, this asshole can speak. And I was afraid. When I knew, her eyes burned right through me. Well, anyways, I'm not even going to discuss it in this chapter. We're going to come back to it possibly. But they snipped a piece of my collar off and they wrapped it around the little girl dog's neck. And they used like duct tape. And before they could even... as soon as they put the little piece of the collar, it was like a curl at the end of past my buckle, one single curl. Actually, they had to drill a new hole and make it tighter on me with my collar. But they took enough off to get around her neck, and I thought they used like a bread tie or something, like one of those things you have where you, at the end of the bread, you have a twisty tie. I forget what they call them. But I thought that's what they used to try to wrap it around there. And as soon as they put it on there, the little girl started to squeak and squall, and she started going like, they heard like mices or something. We didn't even know. It's like, but then the thing she was going, Madam Yes is cheating on the man with little Richie. And we were like, what? And she said, I said, Madam. And then the collar fell off. And Madam Yes jumped back. And she snatched up that dog, and she looked that dog in the eyes, and that dog looked the other way. That dog, like, humbly looked to the side. And that little girl dog, she had the piranha teeth and the whole thing, this little Badger-esque kind of a concept that she had in her own brain of herself, but it made her actually perform like, she had the bluff on me. She chased me under the bed. The first thing she ever did was, like, bully me and then chase me under the bed. That was the very first thing. So I'm like... this little girl dog may take a chunk out of Mrs., out of Madam Yes, might rip her down the cheek like one of them Germans who have to fight with the sabers to prove themselves when they're 18, and then they have their Junker scar, whatever they're called, I forget. But they, little girl dog could have, or she could have just gone right straight for the wrist and like tore open an artery. That little girl dog could have ripped open an artery post haste. So when she snatched her up, the little girl, and the man, he came up behind them, and he slipped like a horseshoe, the collar, the curly cue of collar back over the girl, and it was enough. She didn't say anything. She turned around with the collar on. She looked at the man, and she actually winked, and then shook her head, said, yes, you're getting cuckolded, you dumbass. And then it was horrifying. And then she shook the collar off, and I thought, when she looked at me, I thought the words she mouthed were, I never want to speak again. But that was the episode. That was the time. That was the thing, the scene where the little girl dog, for an instant, had the collar on. Madam Yes wanted to put the collar on, and that little girl dog, she told the truth immediately. She was like, the truth is coming out of me, and I never gave her credit for that. And that's why I miss her even more, because I was like, that little girl dog, she didn't even know what a lie was. Oh, I tell you, I really, really do miss the little girl dog.